Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Samurai Goddess. The goddess next door takes on kung fu killers in this action-packed martial arts Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Samurai Goddess in paperback and e-readers today. A couple of days ago, I made a video in response to several of these detractors who tried to use my unemployment situation as an ad hominem attack when I made videos discussing the irresponsible behavior of some individuals who had pit bulls in my neighborhood. Now, these people wanted to use my unemployment situation as a way to try to shame me into silence. And I responded by asking these same individuals who were so concerned about me being out of work for the last 8 years to go out and help me find a job. And the responses I got were quite predictable, but they were quite troubling. And because when it comes down to this Afro-American Negro, he is not an individual who wants solutions. And this was clear to me in the responses from some of these individuals. When it comes down to a problem, this Afro-American Negro loves to complain, but when it's time to work towards a solution, this Afro-American Negro magically disappears. Because the Negro does not want solutions. All he wants people to do is stop talking about his problems. Me, I want a solution to this unemployment situation because I understand that when you put a period at the end of one situation, you then can move on to other things. Because once you finish with something and complete it, you can then move on to more advanced material. This Afro-American Negro, unfortunately, does not understand this concept of moving forward. All he wants to do is remain in a state of arrested development because he thinks that remaining in this state of arrested development is going to get him the attention of white liberals. And if the white liberals see him on the ground, what they're going to do is feel sorry for him and pity him and then give him some crumbs. I don't want any crumbs from anyone. What I want to do is get another job so that I can get back on my feet and start moving ahead. I understand that moving ahead is a good thing. When you move ahead, it allows you to grow. It allows you to move forward. It allows you to do more advanced things. And I see more advanced things that I would love to do, like with my SJS Direct Publishing imprint. I would love to move ahead when I get full-time employment and start doing things like hiring more artists to design more book covers for new books, and also hire more artists to design book covers for older books in the catalog. And I would like to also go out here and market these titles in black publications or black television channels like your Bounce TV or your TV One. This is all part of a long-term plan. The only thing impeding me is the lack of resources. Unfortunately, as I see it now, if I want to do something, it looks like I'm not going to get some help from many of these black people based on some of the comments I got. Now, one of the most troubling comments I got was from one of these Hotep Negroes who decided, he hears all this stuff and then says, I don't really want to recommend a guy who's been out of work for 8 years and is in his 40s, and I don't want to do it because we want experienced people at their company. Again, this is a Hotep Negro who says that his platform is all about helping black people, all about building up black people, all about supporting black people. And then when a black person is coming to them saying, here, help me out, he doesn't want to do it. It's clearly showing me the hypocrisy of many of these Hoteps and some of these pro-blacks and how they want to be the head Negro in charge, and they want to be the elite who pretty much represent blackness to the white community above all else. For them, that's more important than helping another black man so that two of us can have economic power, and not understanding that the power of two is greater than one, the power of 5 is greater than one, the power of 10 is greater than one. And when you have a larger majority of black men working in the community, guess what? You have an economic base, you have a tax base, and you have resources that are growing in your community. Unfortunately, many of these Afro-American Negroes don't understand this. They're still pulling people down and tearing people down so that they can be the top Negro at the bottom of society. And that's completely backwards when you think about it. Because if there was a white man in my same unemployment situation, guess what? Other white men would make efforts to help that white man get back on his feet because they see the bigger picture, they understand the bigger picture, and they say to themselves, if this white man is down and he's been out of work, guess what? He's going to have to take resources from the government or he's going to have to scavenge. And what's going to happen is we are all going to lose because we're losing not only government tax resources, we're losing more of our own resources, and that's not helping us. This individual is, again, showing me initiative, they're showing me drive. I'm going to go help that white man get back on his feet because if he gets back on his feet, and with this initiative and this drive that he is showing me, with the limited resources he has, guess what? This guy is going to go very far in any organization. That's what white men would say about a guy like me. And Hispanic men would say the same thing as well. If they see a man like that, they're going to help him out because they see the bigger picture regarding their community. They understand that that man who is down and says he wants to work, I need to give him a chance to work. And if he works, guess what? There's more money in my community. There's more resources in my community. And if this guy's driving an initiative, continue to help my community, guess what? Our community is going to grow. Same thing for the Asian guy. Asian men will see a guy, in my situation, and he's saying that he wants to work. He's making efforts. I see all his books on Amazon. I see the initiative that this guy is going. He's going to make efforts to support that individual. Same thing with Arabs. That's why their communities grow. That's why their communities have resources. They don't look at individuals who are trying to do something and kick them down. They go and say, look, this guy is making an initiative. I'm going to help him out. If this guy says he needs a job and he wants to work, guess what? We're going to help him find a job so that he can work. He is showing me that he's interested in working, not collecting government money. I need to go out here and help that guy move ahead because when this individual moves ahead, we all move ahead. Unfortunately, when you're in the Afro-American Negro community, these Negroes are so caught up in being this head Negro in charge that they don't want to see anyone come up. They don't want to help somebody out. All they would rather do is sit here and complain. They think that complaining is going to make a white liberal pop up along with some crumbs, but again, I don't want the crumbs. I'm working towards moving ahead. When you move ahead, guess what? You learn the recipe for cake and you make your own cakes. You don't need somebody's crumbs. You get your own stuff, and that's part of moving ahead. But this Negro doesn't understand these things. These are the same Negroes who will say things like Kickstarter and asking for donations is begging. And this is not begging if you are using these tools towards moving ahead. A Kickstarter is something many white people have used to move themselves ahead. I have watched numerous episodes of Shark Tank where individuals have gone out here and taken a Kickstarter, used the money for that, and then used it to move their company ahead. Then they went and asked for more money for people to invest in their business on Shark Tank. Is that begging? No, not in the eyes of those white people. Those white people see that as investing. But in the eyes of this jealous Afro-American Negro, it's considered begging. Those people aren't begging. They are asking for help to move their business ahead. And that's what I do with these SJS Direct when I do Kickstarters for it. I'm looking to move this publishing imprint ahead. I am looking to move things forward. And I'm looking to raise the money to do better things like give people better covers and give them more higher quality books. That can't be done without money. Unfortunately, you can't explain this to this Afro-American Negro because he's too jealous to see what a course of action and a plan of action truly is. Because people use things like Kickstarters and donations, again, to move their business ahead and to get the resources and the capital to move things ahead. Because you can't do things without money. And what's the really sad thing about it is many of these same detractors were the same ones complaining about hand-drawn covers on earlier titles that I published. And then when I go to them, again, asking for help with a solution, these are the same individuals who are running for the exit. Whenever I would post up a Kickstarter or ask for donations, these are the guys who pretty much magically disappear. They're the same ones who want to attack me about not having a job. But again, are complaining about books they read for free on platforms like Kindle and Smashwords and talking about the covers are not right. But when you tell them that you have to actually put some money on the table to help out, these are the guys running for the exit. Again, proving to me that many of these Negroes out here, the dysfunctional ones, are not about solutions because they don't want a solution. All they want to do is silence people from talking about problems. And they'd rather keep problems going along because, again, they want to maintain a codependent relationship with an imaginary white man in their minds rather than focus on helping another black man move himself forward. Because they don't want to see that black man move forward because if that black man, like myself, decides he's going to move forward, other white people may start asking the same Negro to start making efforts to move forward. He's comfortable in his position at the bottom, and he doesn't want anyone to move ahead because he wants to be the H nice who is comfortable at being at the top of the bottom. Again, I'm not comfortable with being at the top of the bottom. I want to move ahead, and that's why I ask for help with things such as trying to raise money for book covers or trying to ask for help getting a full-time job again. Because as I see it, if I can get back on my feet, I can get back to doing things and I can do more advanced things and I can expand things and grow things. This is something I want to do. I want to continue growing. I want to continue learning. And again, it shows drive and initiative when you can go out here and learn things on your own, like I learned digital publishing on my own. I went out and studied this on my own. I learned about ebooks on my own when they first came out. I learned how to make my own ebooks. I learned how to make my own paperbacks. I learned how to do page layouts. I learned how to do cover design. I learned all of this on my own. I didn't have to go. I didn't say I need to go to some college to get somebody else's approval. I went out and took the initiative myself. And again, this is something that many employers out here should value. Somebody who goes out and takes the initiative to go do for self. Unfortunately, in today's American job market, we have too many people who are so scared of risk and scared of failure that they don't want to take risks on guys like me who are willing to go out here and take that initiative and go and do for self, even with limited resources and limited income, to go out and do for self. They're too caught up in credentials, too caught up in risk, and still running a business on training wheels. And this is really sad when I think about it, as it relates to the American job market. The reason why the American economy isn't growing is because of dysfunctional people like these Afro-American Negro cowards and many Americans who are just too scared to take a risk on someone who's coming out of the box. What they want to do is continue playing it safe, sticking with what's tried and true, still holding on to those training wheels instead of trying to get up and ride that bike without the training wheels, because the training wheels are meant to be temporary. They're meant to get you to a point where you become confident enough to go out on your own. Unfortunately, when it comes down to many of these Americans, they're just too scared to go out here and take that risk like I do. I went out here, and started with another print-on-demand company in 2002. Spent the $200 of the last $600 I had to publish my first book. Then in 2008, set a goal for publishing my second book in 90 days. And then after that, in 2009, started the SJS Direct imprint, taking the drive and initiative to go out and do what I needed to do. But this is not considered, a qualified individual in the eyes of some black people and some Americans out here, again, so spellbound and caught up in playing by a book that they don't understand that the best employees are the ones who are willing to take the initiative and go and do for self. And these are the type of people who are going to be the risk takers who take your organization to the next level. As I see it, I could be a valuable asset to somebody's company. Unfortunately, many people are still, like many of these Negroes out here, so scared to take a risk that they don't see that the only way you're going to grow is with risk. And yes, you may fall. There may be a possibility of you falling down, like the kid who takes the training wheels off the bike. He's going to fall down the first 2 or 3 times he rides that bike without those wheels. But in order for him to ride that bike and be balanced, he has to go out here and go through that hardship of falling down 2, 3, or 4 times in order to get to the point where he gets to stability. And this is something, again, many of these Afro-American Negroes don't understand about people. They don't understand about work situations, and they don't understand that, again, if you can't help somebody solve a problem, you're not going to grow, because the faster we solve, a situation like my unemployment situation, and I get back on my feet, we can then move on to fry these bigger fish and then work on other problems and move forward. Because what happens is, when you wind up stalled in a place, you really can't do but so much. When you help that person put a period at the end of something, and that allows them to move on, and it allows you to move on. And again, this is all about big picture. Now, sadly, most Americans, black or white, they just don't see big picture. They're so busy caught up in what they have right now, holding on to what they have right now. They don't understand that sometimes you have to let things go in order to make things grow. Now, if you offer me a job, I'm ready to go to work. I'm ready to go to work tomorrow, because that's what I'm all about. I'm ready about getting myself together and getting things together so I can move forward, because I understand that when you move forward, you are going to be able to help others, and you are going to be able to reach back to help others. This is something most black people don't understand, because they want, again, remain at the bottom of the top. But I want to move ahead so that I can take myself to the next level and then bring other people to the next level, because I understand the power of two or three is more important, has more impact than just one person. And when you have more people working in a community, that's going to build your economy, and that's going to help everyone move themselves ahead to the next level. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.